Hey there, it's David H. Lawrence the 17th, and I'm pretty sure that if you're watching these videos on a regular basis, you know how valuable I find getting stuff done is. And I'm also a pretty inveterate multitasker. I'm usually doing more than one thing at once, making a video, watching my phone, making sure that this is happening and that is happening, setting up a web page, checking the post-production on something. Is it exporting? I do multitask. And there's a school of thought that says, don't multitask. Don't do that. Just do one thing at a time. You're going to kill yourself if you multitask. You're going to make mistakes. You're really not going to get as much done as you think you're going to get done. Well, I really can't help myself because there are times when I'm waiting for something to complete that I can do something else. And that's just one instance. It's not as crazy as an example that I remember from when Betsy was running a session at South by Southwest on millennials in the workplace. She's an expert on millennials and coaching, and she's just brilliant. And she was running a panel session at South by Southwest. That tells you right there that she's brilliant because she's running a panel at South by Southwest. Anyway, they had a series of I think it was 4 people. They had 2 managers of millennials and 2 millennials. And one of the millennials worked for a major soft drink company. I'm not going to say which one, but she worked in their New York offices. And she had the crowd in stitches because she's like, look, if I am in a meeting and I'm bored, I'm going to be on my phone and I don't care who knows it. And, if it's really boring, I might just leave. I can listen to the meeting and check to see if I'm bored, but I can also be on my phone and getting other work done because I'm a really good multitasker. I can multitask really, really well. And, aside from the vocal fry and the up talking and all that sort of thing, it was just hysterical because there were many, many people in the room that were like, wow, okay, you don't even know what you don't know yet. However, she was working for this major soft drink company, not as an intern, but as an executive. So there was something to be said for that, despite my raucous laughter. I also saw a talk on TED about multitasking, and I read an article, I think in The Atlantic, about it. And both of them had a similar thesis on multitasking. You don't have to just do one thing at a time. You can multitask if you do it in a particular fashion. And when I think about it, that's exactly how I do it. And that fashion is doing it gracefully. That's it, gracefully. So the freneticism, the speed and the acceleration and get things done, go, 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 over that wall, the whole idea of rushing when you're multitasking, do this, then that, then this, then that. That whole set of energies can really cause problems. It can make you make mistakes. It can make you forget things that you were supposed to do while you were so busy doing other things. And it brought to mind the behaviors that I observed in one of my managers when I worked at America Online. His name was Mark Erwin. He's one of my heroes, one of the best people I ever worked with. And he had this really calm way about him, even though he got a ton of stuff done. We'd be in meetings and he might be taking notes, looking at the computer, talking to somebody, making a quick call to get some clarification on things, looking at physical samples of stuff. But he was doing these things in a way that was just lovely, just moving from thing. If he wanted to make a note, he would take his time to make the note, go back to the computer, go back to the meeting, whatever it was. And I never quite could put words to what I was observing and what I saw and what I thought was really good. But for me, it was a great model because I learned from that you don't have to be a nut job while you're doing work. Now, this was the same guy who, when I walked into his office one day and he said, so how long do you think it'll take you to get that area done? I was working on an area for America Online. That's what I used to do. And I said, I think it's going to take another week and a half. And he said, just suppose that you had 2 hours. What could you get done in 2 hours? How much of it could you get done in 2 hours? Could you get the whole thing done? Think about that. Could you? It turns out I got it done in 3 hours. So he taught me to question all of my assumptions, all of my facts, all of my assumptions. And I will forever be grateful for that because he set me up for a really good life experience in that area. But I saw this, as I said, this talk on TED and this article, I think in The Atlantic, about just sort of slowing down the frantic nature of what can be, the nuttiness of multitasking. And I also found some historical examples of it. Einstein, for example. Einstein, no one could argue that Einstein was prodigious. I mean, he was a child prodigy, but I mean prodigious in his output. Theorems and laws and papers and, teaching, and not just in the world of physics and math, but also in the world of politics and religion and social justice. I mean, he was very, 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 very quick, and he multitasked all the time. And he always said words to the effect of, I can do more than one thing at once because I'm called to do more than one thing at once, but I do it in a way that looks fluid and it feels fluid to me. So that was one example. Then there was the example of one of my favorite authors, Michael Crichton. Michael Crichton, dozens and dozens of best-selling novels. Novels like The Andromeda Strain and Jurassic Park. And, I think it was like a total of 37 books or something, maybe 32 books. I forget the exact number. Also a whole bunch of short stories, television shows, movies, screenplays. One of my heroes. I mean, Andromeda Strain was a movie that changed everything for me in terms of how movies look and feel. And the blockbusters that he came up with, aside from the fact that he was a climate change denier. Okay. But I think we can learn from these two examples and from the other examples, and also from just my own personal behavior. I was just observing how I move from thing to thing. And obviously we're on a spectrum, the girl at the South by Southwest thing way over here on the, multitasking crazy. I don't need anybody to tell me I'm not going to do this. I can do 5 things at once. I remember she said that. And then there's the people who just can't do more than one thing at once and won't. So we're all somewhere on that spectrum. And I think that if we just take a moment, step back, lose the drama, lose the frenetic energy, we will be able to multitask, get things done, and do so in a way that is productive and accurate and effective. What do you think? Where are you on that spectrum? What do you think about what I've just said? Are you one of these people that has a very specific process for doing the things that you're doing? Share it with me in the comments below. I'd love to know. I really would. I know that what works for me isn't going to necessarily work for you, but we can all pick up stuff from each other. I have a feeling that's why you're maybe watching these videos. I don't know. Maybe that's why. Oh, and I want to let you know, I just noticed, I haven't been looking at the email from YouTube, but a few weeks ago, I got my 500th subscriber. I've been doing these for about 2 months, and I think I had, 7 subscribers when I started. I never actually asked people to subscribe to my channel. And now all of a sudden I have 500 people, some of whom I know and some of whom I've never heard of before. So thank you for forwarding these emails or these videos, the blog post URLs, whatever you're doing, because somehow or another there's this following forming, which I think is really cool. So thank you. Please keep doing that if you wouldn't mind. And do let me know what you think about this video in the comments below. I'd love that. If you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, if you'd watched this and you said, no, I need to subscribe to this, go ahead and click on my head over there. If there's no head, then there's a subscribe button somewhere on the page. And if you want to see the latest one of these once-a-day videos that I'm doing for the entire year, go ahead and click on that frame there, and YouTube will play it for you. That's what they do. I'm David H. Lawrence the 17th. I thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you tomorrow.